Hey guys, welcome to the Not Original channel. We're going to make a quick video here because this game is a year old and it's not as relevant as it used to be, but since the director's cut actually did come out a few days ago, I wanted to go ahead and hop on and make a few minute review just like I did with 12 minutes. Ghost of Tsushima, as you can see, is a 2020 action-adventure game developed by Sucker Punch Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, featuring an open-world player controls Jin Sakai, a samurai on the quest to protect Tsushima Island during the most Mongol invasion. Now, this game, I'll say it right now, this game is the second best game I've played on the PS4. And I would say second, close to third, because the only thing that sets The Last of Us on third place is the decisions that they made with the story. But I love... So the best PS4 games for me, exclusives, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us. And The Last of Us story is a little simple. I'm talking about Last of Us Part 1. A lot of people say that Last of Us is the best PS3 game, but I'll still count the remastered. So, for me, The Last of Us, the only weak thing about The Last of Us is the story. There's a better story here. And the God of War, obviously, the story is great, interesting, mythical, whatever. But this game is, I think, the second best game I've ever played on the PS4. I took so much time with this game. I tried to explore as much as I could. I haven't done the Legends mode. I really wanted to focus on the story mode. This game's amazing. It's a year old, so I can talk about spoilers. The start of the game is amazing. The features in the games are amazing. The amount of content available. The duel system. The fighting mechanics. I'm going all over the place, but it's a story about the Mongol invasion. You're a samurai, which, by the way, I saw a review for this, Girlfriend Reviews, I believe, and they stated that katanas weren't invented in the time period that this game actually takes place, which I believe is true, but I'm not gonna nitpick like other people do. I'm just gonna. Hey, it doesn't matter. You need to go away with the suspension of disbelief, because this game has supernatural elements as well. It's a lot of things. It's a historical biopic of a fantasy character about things that happen in real life, but they add supernatural elements to it, like him coming to life, because he did die and came back to life. He has some superpowers, because you're not going to tell me that some of the abilities that Jin acquires, like the Dance of Wrath, which is just you having super speed for 5 seconds and literally killing 3 people, like the Flash, or doing like the Ghost Dance, aren't superpowered abilities. But all in all, this game is not as detailed and is not as photorealistic as The Last of Us Part 2, because they were able to not do an open world, and they were able to focus on their little maps and do their thing. But the amount of detail in this open world, I think, is one of the most... This one and God of War, PlayStation does really well open world games. And this actually enticed me into buying Infamous The Second Son. I've never played this game, but this is another Sucker Punch game. I did play the Infamous games and the DLCs, like the one where you're a vampire, but I never played Second Son. So I did download it, and I'm going to start playing it soon. I don't think I'll do a review for that one since it's so old. That one came out for when the PlayStation literally, I think it was like a console launch game. But this game is amazing. It's amazing. It's great. It has good voice acting, good action. The amount of action you can do in a fight, like when you do your duels or when you're fighting like a town of Mongols, the amount of content there is when it comes to side missions, side stories. I love when you're doing the Quest of Tsushima and you're doing like the Dance of the Wrath, those like mythical quests, and there's a whole like animated section where they're explaining a legend that looks amazing. I love that stuff. I love that feel. I love the immersion that you feel. And this game keeps getting updated every couple of weeks. Sucker Punch gives me a new update, so I never had any problems. I never had any technical issues. I didn't play this game at launch. I've only been playing this game for the last couple of weeks. So this game, primo, when it comes to technical issues, nothing of the sort. Obviously, there's always a couple of glitches here and there, like you might jump off and be floating a little bit. But other than that, man, whew, it doesn't have the level of detail that The Last of Us has, but it's because it's an open world game. But for an open world game like God of War, had details, and this one, man, PlayStation they're goated, and they pretty much won the last console wars. If they always say there's no console wars. Yes, there is. I have both consoles, PS5 and PS4, and I prefer PS4's video games because they have exclusives. Like, at least I didn't buy any of the two consoles because the exclusives at launch for PlayStation, I really wasn't interested in Spider-Man or Demon's Souls or any of the games that have come out in the last couple of months. The only one that kinda interested me was Returnal, and my brother bought it because he got a PS5, and he was like, it's fine. So I was like, okay, so I'll just wait for the special, and they're $70 now. Jesus. So they just keep going up in price. But yeah, I wasn't really interested in any of the PS5 launch, and Xbox didn't even have any games at launch. They're gonna get like Now's and the Xbox is getting their consoles, and I've seen Xboxes on Best Buy. More people are buying PS5s, obviously, than Xboxes. I went to the Best Buy like a week ago, and there was like 15 or 20 Xbox Series X's on the shelves, and everybody was looking at them like, should I get one? Should I not get one? Should I wait for a PS5? I don't know what to do here. There's just no Xbox games. I just played 12 minutes. That's the game that I reviewed a couple of days ago. But other than that, the exclusives really start coming out next month. Next month we get, what do we get next month? Forza, and then we get, I don't know. Just it's amazing. And I don't know how the director's cut is doing. I haven't played the DLC. I want to play it because it's honestly an amazing game. So I want to play the DLC, so I'll be downloading that later. I'll be playing that later. But that's it. Ghost of Tsushima, if you haven't played it, or if you're thinking about getting a PS5 and you haven't played this game, man, you need to play this game. You need to. It's so good. It's so good. The fighting systems, the stealth perfection, better than any of the Assassin's Creed games. The combat, the horse riding is amazing. The open world is amazing. The seasons, you can go from a rainy forest to a kind of a desert to a really fluorescent field to a very snowy mountain. There's so many layers, and the map is so big. It's linear because it's not a wide map. It's just linear, and it has a lot of passageways. But it's so good, man. It's so good. I still have to liberate all the outposts, and I still have some side missions that I want to do. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, for me, it's not a perfect game, but I would definitely give it a 9.9 out of 10. Almost a 10 out of 10. I don't know why I wouldn't give it a 10, though. Should I give it a 10? Frick it. Let's give it a 10. 10 out of 10 for Ghost of Tsushima. It's goated. It's definitely going on the best games list for me. When I do the best games, my favorite games of all time in the future, I want to do at least a 50 list and divide it into videos, 25 and 25, and give at least each game 1 minute of why it's so good, and do that like I did for the movies. 10 out of 10. I couldn't say anything else. Amazing combat, amazing open world, good characters, good story, good stealth missions, the variety of swords and cosmetics and armor. The only thing that I could say is, unlike the infamous games where you could choose to be good or evil, the Ghost of Tsushima, it's called Ghost of Tsushima. So it's implied that you need to be the ghost. This is a spoiler. The game heavily it doesn't give you choice. It doesn't give you choice. It gives you a choice at the end of the game. You can choose to kill your master or spare him. That's the only real choice you have the entire game. But the choice doesn't let you. I would have liked to tried if there was a way to just stay on the samurai path and obey the samurai and just be samurai. But the game is called Ghost of Tsushima. But I've always liked the samurai tales. I've always been really respectful of that and the culture. So I wanted to try that. I wanted to try to be a samurai through and through and respect the honor. But I saw Jin's purpose and I saw what he was doing, and obviously I understood. But anyway, 10 out of 10. Ghost of Tsushima. Go play it if you haven't. Go buy it if you haven't. It's worth the $70. It's worth the $60. Whatever they're selling it at, it's worth it. Go buy it. It's great. 10 out of 10. Thank you for coming to the non-original channel. I'll see you when I see you.